Well, it's a very warm welcome back to second half independent off-tube studio commentary from the game at the Emirates Stadium, where Arsenal are a goal down to West Ham after a first half where Arsenal saw the majority of the ball, as you would expect. A lot of possession in and around the West Ham penalty area, but actually not very much work for Alphonse Areola in the West Ham goal. Certainly plenty of work for his defenders having to soak up that pressure, but by and large West Ham did it very effectively. And just towards the end of the half, they went on a quick counter-attack. Bowen picks the ball up at the edge of his own box, finds Wan-Bissaka, and then his run down the right. It's a ball into the box and headed in by Jared Bowen. Arsenal were a little bit, well, they were all at sea really in terms of their defending for that goal, but it does mean that we are in a very interesting position at the start of this second half. Arsenal will certainly be chomping at the bit to get things started as quickly as possible in this second half, and they're off down the left-hand side here now with Rice just trying to get that ball into the box, but he runs it out of play. Wan-Bissaka taking a quick throw, and West Ham trying to get things started here. Kudus playing the ball back towards the edge of his own penalty area. It's myself for Paul Szczerbakowicz and Nathan Wastell taking it to the action. Nathan, it was a tough half for Arsenal, but surely they would have seen enough of the ball in the first half to tell them they can still get at West Ham here.
Absolutely, yeah. Moved it fairly neatly, but it's the intensity there, a bit more directness from Arsenal in the second half needed. West Ham, you've got to credit them, the way they play in that first half. They deserved the lead, the way they stuck with it. Didn't see much of possession. That's always going to be the case, but their game plan was absolutely perfect. But yeah, they're going to be under the cosh in the second half.
They are. You just wonder exactly what the West Ham's sort of plans are in terms of trying to keep Arsenal at bay, but at the same time not being sat too deep, of course, because that's just going to encourage Arsenal to get forward. It's always a difficult balance for the outsider who takes an early lead or a half-time lead against a side really trying to. Well, Arsenal still fighting for that title, but a defeat today certainly puts a big dent in that, as a throw-on taken in by Calafiori down the left in towards Partey, but that one's sent all the way back towards David Raya. Just to remind you, no changes at half-time. Raya in goal for Arsenal. We're back for Buren Timber, Saliba, Gabriel and Calafiori. Odegaard, Partey and Rice are the three in midfield with Nweri, Trossard and Mikel Merino as the attacking three. West Ham, it is Areola in goal. Then it's a back five of Wan-Bissaka, Todibo, Kilman, Cresswell, Skulls, and then it's Alvarez, Ward-Prowse and Souček in midfield with Kudus and Bowen pushing a bit further forward. And here come Arsenal now down the right-hand side, getting towards the edge of the penalty area. Odegaard now just trying to find an angle for a cross. In the end, he has to go back towards Gabriel. Calafiori now down the left, in towards Rice. That's a clumsy challenge there. In fact, it was Marino coming across there, just behind Declan Rice, and he leaves a bit of a foot in there. Just crashes into, well, the crashes in is exaggerated. He bumps into Wan-Bissaka, gives away a free kick, which will just take the pace out of what Arsenal were doing in these first couple of minutes of the second half. Just looking across, no changes in any of the other scores so far. So we can see there in the stands, Martin Keown. We're at Arsenal invincible, of course, in that incredible season they had in the early 2000s when they went the whole season without losing a game. But now Arsenal on the attack down the left-hand side. It was into Trossard. He just couldn't quite get that ball into his feet, and it allowed Todibo to come back and make a challenge. And he goes back to Areola now, cleared up towards the halfway line. It's played forward here by Gabriel, but that goes out for a throw.
Never convincing, was it, from Trossard once he picked it up? Never really looked in control of the ball. I think Todibo was aware of that, was patient, timed his tackle really well, and then shrugged Trossard off the ball. A bit of a mismatch in terms of physicality, but yeah, really nice defending by the big Frenchman.
Yeah, and it's a long ball now for Bowen to chase, heading towards the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. That's cut out, though, by Gabriel using David Ryan, and Gabriel gets the ball back, and it's a long ball down the left which just about stays in play, but then Wan-Bissaka wins it back, and Souček in towards Bowen. Bowen trying to get away from Calafiori. That's a really poor ball. It ends up with Alvarez at the edge of the area. He holds it up and finds Kudus. Kudus just trying to get away from Odegaard. Just about managing it, but having to go a lot deeper in towards Kilman, who's into the Arsenal half as well. Now, pretty much the entire West Ham 11, barring Areola, are inside the Arsenal half now. Trying to build a bit of attacking possession, but no options, no easy way to get through to goal. So that one's played all the way back towards the goalkeeper, David Raya. He finds Todibo. Just easy ball into midfield here as West Ham just trying to ease their way into a bit of attacking possession. That's a nice ball over the top actually from Todibo for Wan-Bissaka to chase. It's cut out by Calafiori. Kept alive here for West Ham then by Souček. He finds Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side, looking for an option for a cross. No easy ball in to the penalty area, so he heads back towards Todibo. Now it's with Ward-Prowse. This is the kind of possession we didn't really see. I can't remember a single time in the first half actually where Todibo crossed the halfway line.
It's crazy because I didn't expect this from West Ham. The same pretty much on the. They're very much on the front foot compared to how they were in the first half, and they're the team in the ascendancy 1-0 up. So being brave and pushing bodies forward when on possession.
Absolutely. Well, it's certainly something that we saw from Graham Potter in his heyday at Brighton. Never really saw it too much at Chelsea. It was a difficult time for him there. But when Brighton were at their best, they weren't a side that just sat back. They did try and go for it even when they were leading. And if you can get a little bit more of that attacking flair into this West Ham team, who have been kept on a leash really with their two previous managers in that regard. Nweri now giving a free kick away at the edge of the West Ham penalty area. Arsenal were fighting to try and win the ball back. A very strong challenge there as far as the referee is concerned. He's overplayed that Nweri and then just trodden on Edson Alvarez. Which, we can see that. It's a bit of a nasty one there. Alvarez just needs a moment to pick himself up.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just a couple of niggy fouls, and it's just sort of killing the momentum and any rhythm that Arsenal really wanted, because that's what they'll need. They want momentum, they want rhythm, they want that 12th man in the game. With these niggly little fouls that are coming in, it just sort of halts that, doesn't it? And West Ham clever with that and just attracting the fouls in and pausing the play.
That's exactly right. What they want to do is just make things that's a little bit more difficult here for Arsenal to get into any kind of an attacking rhythm. It's a free kick now to be taken by goalkeeper Areola. It's a long ball straight down the middle, heading towards the Arsenal penalty area. It's cleared by Saliba, but the second ball is still there for West Ham. It's not. There was a foul on Saliba as that ball was played towards him. So a free kick to Arsenal now at the edge of their own penalty area, taken quickly. Saliba now over towards the right-hand side. Back in towards William Saliba. And again, West Ham playing a high offside line here as Arsenal are in possession, still inside their own half. West Ham are pushing forward to the halfway line themselves just to make it that a bit more difficult. But Odegaard now with a bit of space down the right-hand side as this West Ham line is pushed back towards the edge of the area. Finds Nweri. There's an overlap there as well, but Nweri prefers to go back in towards Odegaard. Heads towards the line, and it's fed into the pass in. Was the idea was to try and get Nweri turning and then getting the ball into the 6-yard box, but there was just not enough space for him to do that. Yeah,
it was a really difficult one to take in the end, just running out of room once again. Obviously don't like to shoot from range to the Arsenal. They want to get as close in as they can. They just seem to be running out of room when they do get into that, sort of crunch time position. Unfortunately, once again, they do so. It just might be worth having a pot look from the edge of the box. They've got the likes of Odegaard who can certainly do that.
They do, and we didn't really see enough of that in the first half. There was that good effort from Calafiori, and that's pretty much it in terms of that sort of thing. And now a free kick given away inside the West Ham half. A bit too keen there was Saliba into the back of Mohamed Kudus. So a free kick to West Ham now just been taken quickly. Too quickly, in fact. I think the ball was still in motion. The referee might have still been telling off the Arsenal man. So the free kick was taken, so he just instructs West Ham to take it again, which will actually suit the Hammers, of course, because it just slows the game down even more. It's now with Cresswell down the left, ball over the top, and Bowen hits the deck. Was Bowen fouled there? I mean, the referee's not even interested at all, and it just ends up with David Raya, who bowls it out quickly here, and it's Gabriel. Now, Arsenal don't want to waste any time. Gabriel square to Thomas Partey. Over the halfway line, he's got options here down the right. One of those is Nweri. There was an overlap as well, but Nweri prefers just to leave this ball here for Odegaard. Odegaard back in towards Partey. Back down towards the right-hand side. The visitors back in, pretty much the entire 11 here for West Ham is doing what it can just to frustrate Arsenal as Odegaard now gets the ball in towards the edge of the area. Here's Declan Rice. He lifts one into Marino. It's over his head, but it's still going to drop to Trossard. And Trossard goes for goal. It's charged down by Wan-Bissaka. Second ball, it goes back to Trossard after a pass from Calafiori. Now it's Odegaard trying to keep the ball alive for Arsenal, being closed down by Bowen. Kudus is there, closing down as well. Arsenal just about keep the ball alive, but they're forced to go back all the way to David Raya.
And that's West Ham again, organised and stubborn. Really massive credit goes to them. They're defending so well, look so organised and keeping Arsenal playing. Arsenal really starting to struggle, and maybe a worry and a bit of nervousness around the Emirates, because we just can't remember the last time there was a real out-and-out, incredible chance for us.
Well, there's not been anything really in the second half, has there? We're getting up to 10 minutes gone here in the second half on official independent off-tube studio commentary. It is still Arsenal 0, West Ham 1, and what a run this is from Kudus. He starts on the halfway line, heads all the way to the edge of the penalty area, just gets closed down by Calafiori, and then finds Wan-Bissaka into Calafiori, now back towards Thomas Souček. And on the halfway line now is Max Kilman. Ball over towards the left-hand side. Skulls trying to play a quick 1-2 there with Alvarez. The pass back from Alvarez wasn't particularly good. Arsenal winning back, but only for a split second. It's a great challenge there from Ward-Prowse to win the ball back for West Ham. And a ball, it's on Owen, and he just can't get a touch on it. It's a quick sweeping ball from the left-hand side. And Jared Bowen can't quite get a touch on it. He's up on his feet and straight away going after referee Craig Paulson. I don't know what he feels. Did he feel that Calafiori might have just had a hand on him there? I'm not sure he's ever going to get anything for that, but it's a good ball and it's very nearly a second for West Ham.
It's a brilliant ball, and you just watch the movement of Bowen just diving in and out, in behind defenders where he can't be seen, sneaking his way in, almost the perfect goal. Hands to his head because he was so close to putting it in the back of the net, and maybe a bit of a surprise here, Paul.
Yeah, changes are plenty here for Arsenal. We're going to see Riccardo Calafiori go off to be replaced by Oleg Zinchenko. That's not a huge surprise, but perhaps the real surprise... Well, in fact, Miles Lewis-Skelly is on as well. Rice and Calafiori are off. Zinchenko and Lewis-Skelly are on. So would Zinchenko go into the middle for Rice and Lewis-Skelly on the left? That would make more sense, I think.
I think so. Definitely. And it's a bit of a surprise for me that Declan Rice going off.
Declan Rice, I mean, he is a consummate professional, so he didn't show too much disapproval, but he wasn't he gave the Arsenal fans a quick round of applause, but you could tell that he was a little bit surprised. It's certainly a tactical change rather than him struggling with some sort of injury, so Rice being replaced after 56 minutes is not what you would expect from Arsenal. It obviously means that Arteta has a plan as to what needs to happen in the middle of the park, as Arsenal go on the attack now down the right with Timber. Leaves the ball now for Odegaard. Odegaard at the edge of the area. Trying to find space for a ball into the box. He gets closed down, and that ball is now quickly cleared away by Cresswell. He finds Kudus, who turns away from trouble into Alvarez. Alvarez then pings the ball over the top, which Bowen will chase, but there are Arsenal players getting in his way. In particular, Lewis-Skelly there just getting his body in the way. Bowen getting told off by the referee, but he's actually saying, well, all I was doing is trying to go after the ball. But yeah, that change for Rice, I'm still trying to process that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I think Lewis-Skelly, you're absolutely right, he's on that left side, and then Zinchenko's in the middle of midfield. So if there's something we don't know, if it was a prepared change from half-time, remains to be seen. But yeah, very interesting one. So it tells a bit of a story.
It does, because Zinchenko is a left-back who's sort of been converted into a midfielder. So the idea that he would do a better job in that central midfield role than Declan Rice is a surprise, I think, unless there is a bit of an injury. I mean, looking at that Arsenal bench, they've got Jorginho there as a central midfielder. So Zinchenko one is an interesting one. We'll see, of course, if Zinchenko ends up doing something amazing in a minute, then we'll have to say that Arteta knew exactly what he was doing. But here is Trossard now trying to get things started for Arsenal. Down the left-hand side, a ball into the penalty area, which is cleared by Todibo. Nice work there from Wan-Bissaka and Souček to avoid giving away the corner. Wan-Bissaka perhaps just being a little bit too elaborate there, flicking the ball up at the edge of his own box, and in trying to clear it, he takes out the Arsenal man Trossard and gives away a free kick in a dangerous position.
Yeah, and he didn't need to do it, did he? He took one flick and he could have cleared it, and then trying to be too fancy, flicking over Trossard's head, and then kicks underneath him, gives away a needless free kick. It's one of them that if they score from, highly frustrating from a West Ham point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. They've had such a good start in this second half. 13 minutes of really good organised play here from Graham Potter's side, and now they've got to defend a free kick that they really didn't need to give away in the first place. Just confirmations, a couple of other goals to tell you about. We'll get to that in a second, because there was a goal for Southampton against Brighton which has been disallowed, and now Brighton have scored at the other end to make it 2-0. Palace are 2-0 up against Fulham, but there's a VAR check. In fact, no, they're 1-0 up against Fulham. That goal has now been chalked off. So a lifeline there for Fulham in that game. But now a gift of a free kick here for Arsenal over on the left-hand side. And it's Leandro Trossard is going to be a right-footed in-swinger. Plenty to aim for inside the 6-yard box. That ball is headed across, but it's away for a goal kick. Mikel Merino trying to hit that one on the angle. It's always a difficult one, isn't it? When you get those right, they're such great goals to score. We just flick that ball on and just change the direction of the cross. But it really has to. Everything has to go in your favour.
It does. It has to be pitch perfect, doesn't it? And he's zipped it in, but it's come off the crown of Mikel Merino's head, and it's just gone wide of the post. But they had the pace on the cross that he could have used, and in the end, yeah, it wasn't too close. Yeah, we'll get the updates. Cameron Archie put the ball in the back of the net for the Saints, but it was ruled out for offside, and then Brighton have gone up the other end, and Jorginho Ruter has doubled the lead for them away at Southampton. So a quick journey over to Southampton. It's going nicely for them. Palace had the ball in the back of the net. Jean-Philippe Mateta. That goal was ruled out for offside as well, so that still remains 1-0 to Palace away at Craven Cottage.
Absolutely, a big goal that, as we can see David Sullivan there, the West Ham owner, will be certainly very pleased with the way his side have presented themselves. Of course, would have been frustrated about the appointment of Lopetegui not really working out. But I suppose the clue was in the style that Lopetegui presented. If West Ham fans were sick of winning games in a dull way under David Moyes, then Lopetegui replacing him probably wasn't the right option, because he would have been, as we know, he's just as defensive, if not more so. But now with Potter, they can see themselves having a bit more of an attacking future. As a bit of a complaint here for Mikel Merino. He felt they wanted to take the throw on quickly. The West Ham man gets in his way, and it works. He snitched to the referee effectively. Now Todibo gets a booking.
Yeah, and Arteta let him know it, didn't he? We talk about the animation. As soon as he did it, he was letting him know there was no need. But it slowed the game down, and the Frenchman's now on a yellow card for the remainder of this game, and an extra half an hour on a yellow card as well.
Yeah, he's going to have to be careful here as West Ham are getting ready to make a defensive change. It may well be that Graham Potter is... Well, this could be... Well, goodness me, that is instant. I mean, I'd like to think that Potter was already planning this, but it just looks even better from his point of view that just as his defender picks up a booking, seconds later, Jean-Claire Todibo is replaced by Kostas Mavropanos.
Maybe he knew it. Maybe Todibo knew that he was going off, so he could run the risk of getting a yellow card before exiting. Who knows? Unless it was just brilliant work by Graham Potter. So the big Greek centre half replaces the other centre half in a light flight change.
Absolutely, yeah. Mavropanos on the field now, former Arsenal man. But here is the ball over to the right hand side here for Odegaard. He got that pass from Saliba. He's got options here down the right-hand side. It's Timber joining this attack. Back in towards Odegaard, around 45 yards out. Now it's with Thomas Partey. Pass towards the edge of the area. Zinchenko turns and finds Trossard, working a ball into the box. Back to Zinchenko. His striker's charged down. It might be a second chance there for Zinchenko before the ball is cleared by Ward-Prowse up towards the halfway line. Saliba's dropped the deepest to sweep that ball up for Arsenal. Now it's with Partey into Odegaard. At the edge of the area, pass in, which eludes Lewis Skelly. In fact, he deliberately leaves it, but now it's a strike from Trossard, which is saved by the feet of Areola. Went straight at him, and now it's Kudus trying to start counter-attacking for West Ham. He was well marshalled, though, by Lewis Skelly, going back towards Wan-Bissaka, who gives the ball away. That's good pressure from Trossard to force that mistake, and now Lewis Skelly back to Leandro Trossard. Left-hand edge of the penalty area, Lewis Skelly laying the ball off now to Partey. Partey getting closed down by Bowen. It's now a ball into the penalty area, and quickly kept alive here by Mikel Merino. But again, just too many West Ham bodies in the way. No options here for Arsenal. Going to try again here now from the edge of the area on the right-hand side. There's an overlap there as well from... it was Saliba that got into that position, but now it's a ball played over into the box. It's just a little bit too quick for Zinchenko and for Trossard out for a goal kick. But Zinchenko's playing in a very advanced role.
Yeah, you can see why he's been brought on. It's sort of that defensive unit of Rice to an offensive unit of Zinchenko trying to get on the front foot. It's just, I don't want to say Arsenal are out of ideas, but I feel like they've been stumped by the way West Ham have defended very well. And that's all credit to West Ham and the way they have done. And I mean, we're over an hour in this game, and it's still 1-0 to West Ham. So if Arsenal want maximum points from this, they've got to do something fast.
They do. At the moment, they don't really have any kind of recipe to try and break down what West Ham are doing. It's good organisation. It's almost like Graham Potter backs his players to allow Arsenal to have a fair amount of possession, because he feels that they can soak up that pressure, as Lewis Skelly jumping for that one with Kudus. Kudus just bumping into him as Lewis Skelly was in the air. And that gives Arsenal a free kick. Chance to restart play here on their left-hand side. Skelly going back towards Gabriel, and those sort of frustrated smiles on the faces of the Arsenal fans. Sadly for them, they've been here before.
Yeah, they certainly have, and they've seen it, and well, they want to keep tops, keep up with the likes of the players, teams on top like Liverpool. So they don't want to be slipping up. With all due respect to West Ham, home to West Ham, especially at home. They'd fancy themselves to get maximum points. It'd be a really big hit for them if they didn't pick up all 3 points.
Yeah, this would be a real dent in their challenge here if they were to lose this afternoon. As Nweri there down the right-hand side, he gets stopped, but then a second ball in from Timber gets cleared back into midfield, headed on by Saliba. Ball back towards the edge of the box. It's closed down, and it's Partey now for Arsenal into Odegaard. If anything, it's started to drop a little bit deeper since Zinchenko's come on. But here is Odegaard now, runs straight into Alvarez. Really is a very good defensive midfielder, Alvarez, and then a combination of him and Skulls then win the ball for West Ham. And Ollie Skulls is off down the left-hand side over the halfway line. But then he's asking too much of Jared Bowen. Usain Bolt in his prime isn't going to get on the end of that one, and it's straight through towards David Raya. And if anything, maybe that's what West Ham needs to do, just keep the ball a little bit longer. I mean, they had that great counter to try and score. Stats incredible here with Nathan. 15 efforts from Arsenal, just 2 of them on target. 4 efforts from West Ham, 1 of them on target, and 1 of them's hit the back of the net. But it's that age-old story, Arsenal creating the chances but just not being clinical with them.
Yeah, and sometimes stats don't tell the story of a match, but they certainly do here, absolutely, but all the shots that they have had, the 15 of them, haven't really made any sort of effect on Areola's goal.
No, they haven't. And now Ward-Prowse wins the ball back for West Ham. He plays a quick one down towards Kudus. And all of a sudden it's West Ham on the attack now with Bowen back towards Ward-Prowse. Mavropanos now and Kilman on the halfway line. West Ham just enjoying a little bit of possession inside the Arsenal half. Edson Alvarez gets away from Mikel Merino. After there as well, Alvarez not happy with Marina, but the game goes on. It's with Wan-Bissaka in towards, it was Sojcik that holds it up. Now down the right-hand side goes Kudus. He gets closed down, and he gets brought down by Trossard as well. Very animated response there from Leandro Trossard. He clearly doesn't agree with the referee or the linesman's decision, but we'll see from this replay as he's heading towards the edge of the... Yeah, it's just a bit of a body check there. I don't think that Trossard has much of an argument, really.
No, I don't think so at all. And it's an air of frustration, isn't it? It has to be said, because it's just not going right for them. And West Ham again, it's them niggly little fouls, and they just seem to be killing the game and frustrating Arsenal ever more.
They are, and this is a good opportunity for them now from a set piece. They've hardly had any of these in the game, really. So a good ball in from Ward-Prowse. Just a quick look behind him to perhaps get a quick signal from his bench as to what they want with this cross. Arsenal setting up a level with the penalty spots in terms of the offside. Right now there are 2 West Ham players who are deliberately stood in an offside position. They're going to quickly just get back on the right side of that offside line. As Ward-Prowse is now ready to take this free kick. And it is an outswinger towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Is headed away. Still kept alive here by Cresswell at the edge of the area, but it's flicked away from him. Now Zinchenko finding a quick pass out towards Trossard on the left, and Trossard then lifting a ball, but it's not anywhere near enough. And that's comfortable from Mavropanos, who heads it back towards Areola.
It's not good enough. It's just simply not good enough. Picking up well. Looks promising for the counter-attack, and then it's just such a lazy, lofted ball over the top that can be just easily swept up. Yeah,
well, it's still quite a way to go in this game, but you just get the feeling that it could be one of those afternoons for Arsenal, just with the amount of possession and the very limited chances, the decent chances, actual chances that they've created. As Nathan mentioned, the 15 efforts on goal. We certainly can't remember all 15 of them, because most of them were efforts that were either charged down or just very tame efforts that went wide.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, and 2 shots on target, and just catching practice for Areola, so definitely work to be done, and a free kick given away there. I'd like to see replay that one against Mikel Merino. Looking maybe a little bit harsh.
Yeah, he's certainly very frustrated that Max Kilman's got the decision, but this will certainly work for West Ham. We'll see here.
That's foul.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's not much in it, but then at the same time, Merino would expect a free kick for the same there if that had happened to him. So a free kick to West Ham. Again, all good news for them. It just slows the game down, just frustrates Arsenal that's a little bit more. And for the time being, the West Ham away end looks more nervous than joyous right now. They know this is a very crucial time in the game. Long clearance now from Areola down the right-hand side. Sojcik heads it on, and there's just a second of miscommunication there between Lewis Skelly and Raya. Raya then gets pumped into there by Kudus, accidentally on purpose, I think. Kudus knows what he's doing there, but referee Paulson spots there, just instructs Raya to have a free kick for that one. We're over the 3-quarter mark in this game. 69 minutes gone. It is Arsenal 0, Ipswich 1, and it will be Nathan to Ipswich, West Ham, I should say, and it will be Nathan to take us through to full time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Paul. I think it's absolutely flown by in this game. It has to be said, this second half, Arsenal haven't knocked on the door as hard as we thought they would. 69 on the clock, Arsenal 0, West Ham 1. Jared Bowen a minute before the break, giving the Hammers the lead, and that's the way it's stayed since then. Aaron Cresswell on the far side, halfway inside the Arsenal half, I should say. He's helped on by Alvarez. A bit of head tennis at the minute, needs to get under control. They're trying to do that. Craig Pawson's given a free kick against West Ham on the edge of the Arsenal box, and Arsenal want to get on with it fairly quickly, and Jared Bowen just won't let that happen at the minute. And now they will, as Arsenal look to come forward on that far side. Just crossing over halfway now is Jurriën Timber. He's got room to roam in front of him. There's a couple of bodies left and right in the red shirt. Kicking from right to left, of course, in the second half are Arsenal. And they come them on the far side with Nwaneri cutting inside for Odegaard. It's fed centrally to Gabriel. That's so deep, West Ham, protecting that slender lead they do have. I mean, one goal back for Arsenal, and it's we've got a different conversation. And Lewis Skelly, it's been nicked off him. Right is well out of his goal. Oh, he's taking Kudus down. He could be in big trouble here. A lot of West Ham players surround him. Won't be the first time he's been sent off. Lewis Skelly, Craig Pawson goes to his pocket and gives Lewis Skelly a yellow card. Paul, thought?
I think he might be lucky here, Lewis Skelly. I mean, it's a deliberate stopping of Mohamed Kudus. He loses the ball, and then it's a quick rugby tackle there.
It's a red card.
I mean, I think it's a red card. With Raya being as far away as he is, so far. Even if Raya was in his penalty area, Kudus has got that much space to try and get things done. It's a deliberate foul from Lewis Skelly. The fact that you can trip an opponent and a little bit of a jostle for position and get a booking for that, and then get a booking for that as well, that's not the same offence in my opinion.
And West Ham players are letting them know it's gone to VAR. They're looking, is it covered by the man over on the far side, who I believe is Saliba. Lewis Skelly's let his man go.
You would argue that if at that moment when Lewis Skelly brings him down, I believe that if Kudus is allowed to stay on his feet and run in a straight line, then Saliba is getting nowhere near him. So to me, I would say that is a possible red card with denying a goal-scoring opportunity. And of course, so I think the whole of the football community agreed that Lewis Skelly was unfairly sent off a few weeks ago away at Wolves. But now, potentially, he's been unfairly kept on the field, and no surprise, this is a very quick one. VAR takes a little while normally, but this is about 30 seconds, and Paulson's been sent to the monitor.
He has been sent to the monitor. It's Kudus as well, and you just feel like, well, David Raya was near the centre circle, so he may have not even run it. He may have just gone for goal. Looks like Brighton have taken a 3-goal lead away at Southampton on the south coast, as Arsenal fans and Arsenal players, including specifically Lewis Skelly, hold their breath as Craig Pawson has another glance at the monitor and at the footage. This is very, very interesting and a huge moment, not just in the match, but in Arsenal's season, it has to be said.
That's interesting. The reverse angle, I think, actually makes it look even worse for Lewis Skelly, because it just shows more of how a deliberate foul it is.
Here we go.
Oh, he's cancelled the yellow.
He's gone to yellow. He's cancelled it. And Craig Pawson has sent Lewis Skelly off. Not the first time he has seen red. And you'd say he's taken one for the team, but he created that. His loose touch let Kudus through. It did, but it's also the fact that Arsenal are playing on the last man. They're sending so many players forward. I mean, you would trust your defenders in that position there. Lewis Skelly, I mean, arguably the pass to him isn't brilliant either. It puts him in a little bit of an awkward position there, I would say, Gabriel. But even from there, Lewis Skelly isn't forced into doing what he eventually does. He could have dealt with that a little bit better. Credit to Kudus as well, to make sure that he just gets away from Lewis Skelly and then forces himself in between Lewis Skelly and the ball. But for all the fury and anger at the last red card for Lewis Skelly, they're not going to get any support from the football community this time. That is an obvious red card, and I think there would have been a bit of an issue if he hadn't been sent off after all of that. Yeah, agreed. It's ball coming over the top for Edson Alvarez. Could get even worse for them. Left-hand side of the box, Bowen dancing his way through. Shot comes in. Is that deflected? I think so. But the flag goes up for offside in the end. 73.5 minutes on the clock. Arsenal 0, West Ham 1. Arsenal down 2-10 men. Lewis Skelly seeing straight red. Not the only red card in the Premier League this afternoon, of course, and Graham Potter is just over a quarter of an hour away from a very famous win at the Emirates Stadium, and that's a lot of West Ham fans making the short trip to the Emirates, and they'll enjoy this. Well, absolutely. I mean, the last 4 away games for West Ham, the 4-1 defeat away to City, 2-1 away to Villa in the Cup, then a 1-1 draw in the league to Villa for that 2-1 away defeat to Chelsea that we mentioned. So to go from that to beating Arsenal away would be a fantastic result for West Ham, but of course let's not speak too soon. Here come Arsenal now. It's a horrible ball into the edge of the box, which is being picked off by Ward-Prowse and fed out to the near side. Kudus has got space and he's going to run forward on the near side. He goes for full sprint and then just allows support, and it's Wan-Bissaka, the man that assisted the goal, and he's going to look for another assist, deflects into the hands of David Raya this time, and he'll just collect that in 2 hands, and he needs to look for the support. And it looks like the heads have just sort of dropped for Arsenal at the minute since that red card. They've been trying the hardest to get into this game and they haven't done, and now they're down to 10 men and it's an uphill battle and the morale just seems a bit low at the minute They need something just to get a bit of a boost into them legs. It's been over an hour of football. They'll be tired. I mean, they've made 2 substitutions early in the second half, and there you go. It's a loose pass, picked off far too easy for West Ham. And don't say this is turning into a routine win for West Ham. It's far from that. But it seems like I thought they'd be under a lot more pressure in the second half.
Yes, I did as well. I must admit that I just figured it was going to be sort of backs to the wall. Arsenal sort of in the final third the entire time. West Ham just cleared their lines and Arsenal come again. But it's been nothing like that at all. A combination of West Ham being excellent in terms of their work ethic and in terms of how they're frustrating Arsenal. But it also has to say that Arsenal are below, a good 2 or 3 levels below what we would expect from them as well.
And Mavropanos has it on the near side. He's going to look forward long as the pressure comes in. And he's looking for Kudus and Gabriel. And Gabriel's lost the battle. Kudus is isolated, but he's still got the ball, standing it up well. And he's played it back. He's done absolutely superbly there, Mohamed Kudus. And keeps hold of the ball for the Hammers. That was the most important thing. And they're pressing forward. Boy, would West Ham love a second goal. Max Kilman moved to the far side, halfway inside the Arsenal half with Oliver Scales, the young 18-year-old. And he's just going to retreat the ball into a safe area. And Edson Alvarez all the way back to Areola, who will kick long. And Arsenal can't really get near the ball at the minute. Down to 10 men, of course. And Zinchenko looks like he's filled in at sort of a left-back position at present. David Raya. Of course, Liverpool will be... I'm sure there'll be Liverpool fans watching this with a smile on their faces, of course. I don't think Liverpool players would admit they'd be watching this with a smile on the face, but I'm sure they would be. They're happy to see this and the position Arsenal are in.
Absolutely, yes. Just like everybody was cheering when Villa was scoring goals against Liverpool in midweek, you always want that title race to be a little bit more exciting. Liverpool have been excellent this season, and Arsenal need to respond quickly as Zinchenko puts the ball in. But it's a very poor ball, and I mean, obviously now with the red card for Lewis Skelly, it's going to be different. But I still wonder that the validity of replacing Declan Rice with Zinchenko. I just don't really see how that's helped Arsenal in terms of having a bit more of a shape to go forward.
Yeah, and it's got real work to do now. Need to show a good bit of character here, Arsenal. Find every experience they have in their utility and try and get back into this game. We're just getting the replay of the goal. It was absolutely fantastic diving header by Jared Bowen, the skipper. 7th of the season for him, and they've got that to protect at the minute. Ball thrown down the line only as far as Saliba, and he will pick it up. Work to be done for the Gunners. 13 minutes plus any additional to play, which you admit would be a few minutes now because of the VAR check and substitutions and more substitutions afterwards.
Yes, I expect that the closer we get to full time, West Ham are going to take that just that little bit longer with every throw on, with every goal kick. There's going to be a booking here for one of the West Ham players, whether it's for the foul or for the delaying of the free kick. It's Ollie Scholes that picks up the booking, but these yellow cards aren't going to have to go into the kitty for any end of season season fines, because this is all important for West Ham just to try and slow down Arsenal.
Yeah, late clip on Timber, and he goes down. Gabriel has it just inside the West Ham half. Moved to the near side. Trossard. Haven't seen much of him in this second half. Not as much as we wanted to see. As Aaron Wan-Bissaka won the ball, he hasn't. Bit of a wild slide in the end and hacked down Trossard.
Yeah, it's very well put that it's a wild slide, and I was about to make that point that I think West Ham have just got to take it easy now. They've got the man advantage, but for some reason since then they just got a little bit more physicality in the game, which they don't need to. They were very well organised and very well disciplined before this, and they don't want to sort of try and turn this into a bit of a slugfest, because that's when they can really start giving away too many cards and free kicks.
Yeah, it's a good point, and the fact that how good Arsenal are from set pieces, you don't want to give them any rhyme and reason to score from any, and it's Odegaard over the free kicks. Defensive line about 5 yards in front of their own edge of the box. Everyone back. It was a one-man wall. Odegaard's going short to Saliba. Put him under pressure. Now Saliba's had to go all the way back to David Raya. That's really poor from Arsenal. And now they're going to have to hack it forward over to the far side. Can they win this one? Well, it's come off a West Ham head. And Arsenal have a throw. They have 11 minutes plus any additional. They're one man down and one goal down at the minute. Odegaard has it at his feet. I mean, there's no, in terms of chances in this second half, there's been nothing from Arsenal, even before the 10 man. And they never did look like scoring, and now they're down to 10 men. I mean, there's always hope in football, of course there is, but it's a big uphill battle. Odegaard is going to try dinking forward. That's a neat ball. Can he be kept in on the byline? Just about. The flag stays down. What can they do with it? Right hand side of the box. They've won themselves a throw. Jurgen Timber trying to make an absolute nuisance of himself. And he wins the throw, and he's going to take the throw all the way back to Saliba, who's ventured very far forward into the West Ham defensive third. Need to move the ball quickly. They just can't break through West Ham. They're really struggling to do so. Gabriel now out into the feet of Marino, crossed in, and that's blocked, and that'll be another throw on the far side. Cresswell, and you just feel like is it the depth in Arsenal's team now that does come into effect, that they can't bring anyone on to change this game?
Well, I think absolutely that's absolutely the case. That already we made the point about Zinchenko coming on for Rice, which was an unusual change. And then you think of someone like Sterling coming on. Is he a better player on that left-hand side than somebody like Trossard? Well, I wouldn't have thought so. And just as we say that, they've got their big centre-back Saliba sending a booming ball into the box, which just goes over everyone, heading out for a goal kick.
It was a horrible one, it has to be said. And just cherry on top there, North London rivals Spurs have just got a third goal lead. Jed Spence, who's in a fine bit of form, he's got the third goal to put it out of sight for Ipswich, and it's now Ipswich 1. Tottenham 3. So
Jed Spence is a good lesson to any player who feels like they've been frozen out of a team, but then you never know what can happen. He's survived a couple of managerial changes, and now he's actually a regular again for the first time at Spurs after certainly a few of the pundits felt as though it was a move too soon for him to go to Spurs in the first place. But Arsenal do make a change, and Raheem Sterling is on in the 81st minute. Just waiting for confirmation as to who he's replaced.
Yeah, Raheem Sterling has a chance to come on and be a hero in a Gunner shirt. It looks like Wanyeri's making way, and he's not moving ever too smoothly, so Sterling comes on in his place. Looks like that man that scored the goal is passing over captain's duty to Souček, and Jarrod Bowen makes way for the man making his, I believe, his first appearance for West Ham, and Evan Ferguson, maybe his second appearance.
Evan Ferguson off the bench here for West Ham. So he is such a promising talent, the young Republic of Ireland international from Bettystown in Ireland, and as you mentioned, he's had one quick appearance off the bench, just 40 minutes for West Ham, but this is a big moment for him now to try and get a bit of game time, of course. So I wonder what his future is. Is he going to be heading back to Brighton and getting some first team football there, or whether or not he's going to be on the move? But this is crunch time for Arsenal now, as Wan-Bissaka gives a free kick away deep inside the Arsenal half. Yeah,
they've got 8 minutes, Arsenal, to get anything from this game. I mean, you take a point at this point if you're an Arsenal fan. 1-0 down to 10 men. But they need to get the ball up the field. It's on the edge of their own box at the minute. Thomas Partey, he's had a quiet second half. Picks it up in the centre circle of his own half. Moved to the far side this time. Zinchenko, it's good feet. Moves on further to the far side. Raheem Sterling, first touches for him this afternoon. Drops his right hand shoulder, trying to take on Skulls. Can't do it, so he checks back. It's a really loose pass, but been picked up once again. Odegaard, edge of the box, comes into Trossard, wants the shot. He's been clipped. That's in a really dangerous position for a free kick, it has to be said. He turned and Mavropanos dived in. That's the point you were making, Paul. Going in far too rash, and they have a really dangerous free kick.
Well, that free kick that Wan-Bissaka gave away deep in the Arsenal half is ideal because it slows the game down. He's not going to get booked for it, just a little bump. This kind of thing from Mavropanos, just sort of charging out and clipping into Trossard inside the D, is just a free kick that he doesn't need to give away. Arsenal have struggled to get the ball into the box all afternoon, and Mavropanos just made it that little bit easier for them.
Huge moment for Arsenal. 7 minutes to go from the 90 minutes. They are 1 goal down and down to 10 men. They've got Odegaard over this, they've got Trossard over this, Sterling's there, and so is Zinchenko, all in heavy conversation. It's very central on the edge of the D, on the edge of West Ham's box. It looks like they're setting up looks near a 6-man wall, plus 2 Arsenal players in the wall. Maybe it is fairly close in, maybe one that you look to go over to the other side, like Bruno Fernandes did earlier at Goodison Park against Everton. Areola barking instructions out. Taking over to 84 minutes now. Sterling sort of moved the ball on the turf. Gives you a good indication of who will take it. Odegaard's talking to the wall. His wall inside the wall. There's actually 3 Arsenal players in the wall. That's so many players. I mean, you're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you're adding 3 Arsenal players onto that. It looks like it's going to be Odegaard, who's thinking about going for it. May go across goal. It's going to be Sterling straight into the wall. Odegaard, he's taking it to the right hand side. That's a good pass. Flick to the back post. That's a complete waste. Is that a shot? Is that a cross? You don't know. But the one person you didn't want in that position, it was Gabriel.
No, I mean, it's the wrong option there from Gabriel, but we'll see this. The effort from Sterling, it hits the wall at waist high. It's a poor free kick, but then it's an even poorer ball in from Gabriel. I don't know what he's doing there with his left foot, just trying to go for that sort of a real Hollywood finish in the top corner.
Yeah, not the man you'd want. Brighton have themselves a 4th goal away at Southampton. Hinshelwood, the holding midfielder, has got the goal, put them out of sight. We did mention that Crystal Palace did double their lead away at Craven Cottage. What a huge 3 points that is for them against an informed Fulham. Ball just trying to be trapped down by Trossard. It can't be done so Gabriel sweeps up with the head. The ball's just inside the Arsenal half on the far side this time. 5 minutes to go plus any additional. Can Arsenal get the ball forward? Can they get anything from this game? Zinchenko is trying to look forward. Heavily marked teammates moved over to the far side. Odegaard has Sterling on his overlap and uses him right hand side of the West Ham box. He has an overlap but doesn't use that. Raheem Sterling just trying to take it upon himself to cause some damage. They get the ball in the box. They're just very hesitant to do so far. Haven't seen anything of Mikel Merino in this second half, it has to be said. Odegaard this time going to put the ball into the box. Oh, he nearly got through. Mavropanos just about getting the ball clear. And Kudus, has he been hacked down there? Craig Pawson says so. And he's going to give Thomas Partey a yellow card. And that was a clever challenge to attract. And that will just kill all momentum.
Yes, this is a sort of free kick that Arsenal don't want to be giving away, just as West Ham. It's a stupid challenge that from Partey, really is. Just puts his arm across the opposition player, brings him down. Now Arsenal are making a change here, just as Partey gets that yellow card. It's going to be William Saliba to go off and be replaced by Ben White.
It's an interesting one, as Ben White comes on the field, the number 4. Interesting to see where he does line up. And Jurrien Timber may just move into that centre-half position, or Ben White might just stick at centre-half. It remains to be seen. But what we do know is it's 1-0 to West Ham and Arsenal down to 10 men with just under 4 minutes to go plus any additional. We do anticipate a little bit of additional time. They did look at the red card for a few minutes. Areola will kick this long. He'll kick this as far away from his own goal as he can. Gabriel climbing. Looks like Timber's moved into centre half and Ben White's gone to right back. And he's going to collect the ball in that position. Inside to Timber. Need to get the ball forward here, Arsenal. A bit sideways. Credit West Ham for that. They've been absolutely fantastic. And if they were to walk away at maximum points, you can't say they don't deserve it.
They've done a very good job here. Say they soaked up early Arsenal pressure. They scored a good goal on the counter-attack, and they've done a very good job in the second half. None of that explains why Arsenal have been so sort of average this afternoon, but West Ham have made it very difficult for them.
Spurs have a 4th goal away at Ipswich. Kulusevski, the Swede, getting the 4th goal for Spurs. Ball's going to be zipped in from Odegaard. Can't find a man. And West Ham trying to clear it, but it's blocked, and it will be a West Ham goal kick. And it's just one of them afternoons where it hasn't fallen for Arsenal at all, and it's fallen all West Ham's way. And sometimes that does happen.
It does happen, yes, absolutely. I think Arsenal probably could have done a little bit more to try and get those odds in their favour. But yeah, it's just been one of those days where any kind of deflection just hasn't gone the way they would have liked. Carlos Soler getting ready to replace Edson Alvarez, who I think has done a very good job in central midfield today.
Yeah, he's been a busy man, and he's controlled the game well and moved it from defence to attack. Very neatly, yeah, he's worked hard, the Mexican, and he will go off and be replaced by Carlos Soler, the man that used to play for PSG, and he comes on to
interesting
the
one though, because Soler, I would say he's probably a slightly more forward-thinking midfielder, unless he's been told just to sit back and be a little bit more defensive, because certainly Alvarez was doing more defensive work in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. The ball's going to be kicked long. Zinchenko, good strong header, finds the chest of Merino. Can he take it down? Gives it away. And it's just not working for Arsenal at the minute, and they have a minute and a half in the original 90 to get something, and they are running out of time, running out of hope. They'll be sporting Man City tomorrow, and I don't think they'd ever thought they'd say that. And Ben White leaves it for Sterling. They just can't get near that West Ham goal, and they haven't all second half. Timber goes down the line. Sterling. It's just on the right hand side of the box. Ben White into Partey. He's going to move it over to this near side now for Zinchenko. Ball down the line, looking for Trossard. Lovely sliding challenge comes in. It'll be a throw for Arsenal in line with the edge of the box. But Suchek coming across that sweep up, and just when it looks like Arsenal have finally broken through that line, across comes Suchek.
He does, yeah. So anyone from that West Ham midfield now is really having to just play as a defender pretty much, just to try and close things out. We're less than a minute away from added time. And Graham Potter on his bench will be looking very nervously at our fourth official.
Ben White across to Partey. It's moved to the near side. Zinchenko, a little bit of space. He's going to get the ball in the box. He hasn't. They've been hesitant to do that, and maybe because they don't have sort of that threat in the air. Partey hesitant with the pass. Minutes tick by. Move to the far side. Timber, and now Sterling has it. What can he do? That's so deep for West Ham, so organised. Arsenal just really struggling to break through. Sterling dinged over the top, looked for White. It's a horrible pass, and that'll be just hooked clear and very easily swept up, and it's just ticking away, and it looks like West Ham are very easily going to tick over 2 or 3 points.
For the time being, yes, there doesn't seem to be anything. Well, just as we say that, though, here comes Odegaard.
The right-hand side of the box, ball comes in low from White, can't find a teammate, and it's only found Kudus. Strong slide challenge, shot comes in, way over the bar. That takes a deflection, no. Goal kick West Ham.
Credit to Partey there for sliding in and winning that ball back. Trossard makes his mind up very quickly to go for goal. We are going to have 8 minutes of added time.
8 minutes is a long time in football, it has to be said.
It is, but then I suppose if we look back at the last 8 minutes, how much work has Areola had to do? Nothing. It's his outfield players that are doing all the work.
Yeah, and they got nowhere near it. Nowhere near the goal, that is, Arsenal. And it's just ticking by. I'll just quickly run you through why we have a break and play the other Premier League scores. Bournemouth, 10-man Bournemouth losing at home 1-0 to Wolves. Cunha with the goal on 36. Massive 3 points for them if they held on. Fulham 0, Palace 2, Ipswich 1, Tottenham 4, Southampton 0, and Brighton 4. Aston Villa, Chelsea at 5:30 will be covered on this service.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I don't like jumping on that bandwagon of all the 3 teams that get promoted always get relegated, but it has to be said that all 3 promoted teams are playing at home this weekend, and they've conceded 12 goals between them. Yeah,
it's a good point. There is certainly seems to be a gulfing class between the Championship and the Premier League. I don't think it's been ever bigger, to be frank. We're a minute into the 8 added on, and no real change to how the match was. West Ham fans in fine voice and have every right to be. A fantastic performance by the Hammers. And Raya just scrambling to collect the ball for a goal kick, puts it on the floor. They'll get the game back underway and move it out to the near side. Arteta looking on. I couldn't imagine what he's thinking at the minute.
I wouldn't want to be in that dressing room at full time either. He's not going to be happy. I think that he'll have to accept that West Ham have done a very good job today, but also Arsenal haven't been at the races. But let's not speak too soon. They're pushing forward again, and that's a good bit of work from Skiles to cut it out. Then they win themselves a free kick here, West Ham. Clever bit of play here. I mean, it's not much of a foul. Sterling's not happy, but from West Ham's point of view, they'll be very happy.
Yeah, Craig Pawson gives the free kick, and that'll just eat into them minutes, eat into them vital seconds. I mean, it's a shoulder to shoulder, but he was clever with it. He was savvy, and he's won himself a free kick. And Areola will take a nice, gentle jog towards the ball. 6 minutes to go. Arsenal 0, West Ham 1. And Arsenal down to 10 after Lewis Skelly was sent off. Seen red for the second time this season, as the empty seats just start to appear at the Emirates Stadium. And Areola will kick long, as far away as he possibly can. And Zinchenko goes for the header. It's going to drop into midfield, into the centre circle. Turned by Odegaard, not a bad one. He has a man to his right and uses him as Ben White goes on the overlap. He's got Sterling to his right, uses him. Can he get a ball in the box? He needs to get it in there. It looks like he has done. Header goes up, but it's not been connected with well. And Wan-Bissaka has the chance just to clear the ball. They haven't done enough of that in the second half for me, Arsenal.
No, they haven't. No, I mean, I think Wan-Bissaka there was almost getting his own goalkeeper out of the way to clear that one. But no, in terms of Arsenal actually trying to cause some commotion inside the box, I mean, this all could be a byproduct of the fact they don't have an out-and-out number 9. So they sort of haven't got that natural target in the box, having to sort of build things and then try and pick out a teammate that's pushing forward. But it just hasn't worked for Arsenal this afternoon.
No, it's going to find Partey 30 yards out from goal centrally. He's going to move out to the far side once again. Ben White thought about the cross with the left foot, but he won't do so. The ball down the line it goes. It's a really poor one. Lovely, lovely read and interception by Oliver Skiles. He's had a fantastic game, it has to be said, that young man. And it's going to be given away. And maybe a chance for a break. Kudus, it's a 2-on-1. A retreating Timber. Kudus, he wants to play in his man. He's given it to Ferguson on the left foot. They've delayed it too long. Arsenal finally have bodies back. It just looked like they were through on goal, and they just have it back. A man being tripped in the Arsenal box. Yeah, it'll be a free kick. What an opportunity that was to double their lead and put it out of sight.
It was. I just wonder from Kudus' point of view, is that the right ball for Ferguson? I just think we'll see here. I mean, it's terrible here from Partey, the way he cuts or doesn't cut it out.
There.
And as I say, play the ball early, that's one thing, but when he gets the chance,
it's behind him.
It's at best it's square, at worst it's behind him, but it's certainly not in front of him for Lamb to run onto it.
Yeah, wrong option completely by Kudus. Evan Ferguson was holding his line, waiting for the pass. Didn't come. We're halfway into the 8 minutes added on. Arsenal still trail by a goal. I mean, Thomas Partey looking to get something started, but it's not been good enough at all from an Arsenal perspective. It's going to be moved forward by Sterling to Ben White. They're getting nowhere near the West Ham goal. They need to move the ball quicker and be more direct with it. And they're just moving it from side to side at the minute. Credit West Ham. Zinchenko this time going to try the cross. Hit the first man. Not a good ball. It's going to try again. Timber. Move to the far side to Sterling. He's going to play a ball down the line. It's horrible pass and that'll be intercepted. And Partey will pick it back up. It's just run of the mill for West Ham at this point. It's been easy. Has to be said. Timber coming forward. Soler just standing up his man. Going to put the ball into the box. It's a floated one. Mavropanos with the header away. Trossard trying to win this one and keep it alive. 95 on the clock. Still 1-0 to West Ham. It's on the right-hand edge of the West Ham box. They just can't get the ball in the box. And even when they do, just keeps getting cleared out. Ball goes in and it's headed out. And Partey's taking a tumble. Is that a free kick? Advantage play. Trossard's going to float this one in. Heads go up. It's flicked on. Gabriel. He's just trying to play it, and they're just overplaying it maybe. Ben White with a shot, and it's gone wide. And was that a cross come short? Remains to be seen. How close it was, I couldn't really tell, but he hit that with some real venom.
He really does put his foot through this, Ben White, but the time is ticking down for Arsenal. Just got 2.5 minutes of the added time left now. As this ball is headed across, you can see Trossard just lifts that ball in, and it drops to Ben White. And again, I mean, I just think that when he gets this shot away, there were other options. I mean, it's not a bad effort at all. Just looking at that replay, he was very close to goal.
He was, and it wasn't that far away. No, it wasn't. Odegaard did well with the back heel. And then Ben White, he did strike it well. Swerving towards goal, but just wide in the end. 2 minutes to go. Arsenal 0, West Ham 1. And Ariola's going to keep this as far away as he possibly can from his goal. And it'll be kept alive by Mikel Merino. It's the first time I've really seen him on the ball in this second half from the Spaniard, really.
He's been anonymous in this game, he really has. I mean, he made a real impact sub appearance in that game against Leicester, but he's not had that impact today at all.
Zinchenko wants that ball into the box, gets it towards the back post. Lovely trap by Sterling. Needs to get the ball out of his feet, though. He does so. Odegaard wants the shot on the edge of the box, feeds it down the line to Sterling. He's going to dink it in, heads go up. It's a West Ham head that wins it. They're calling for a free kick and they're going to get it. And West Ham are so close to an important 3 points.
Yeah, they're just 90 seconds away now. It's a really, really big moment here for West Ham, just like it's a really big moment for Arsenal as well, and the title race. These are 3 points going away from the Emirates that I don't think many people predicted today.
They're asking Man City for a favour. It has to be said. Brighton have won 4-0 away at Southampton. That's the first full time of the 3 o'clocks. So a lot of added time in all the other games, it has to be said. Souček back to his feet and a minute to go of the 8 minutes. And Areola just going to, well, you see there, look at that, Paul, 21 attempts, still 2 on target for Arsenal. Nothing's changed since you mentioned it.
And that was a good 15-20 minutes ago, and so we could see Jared Bowen just trying to get some instructions out to his players now, doing some coaching off the bench. But a long ball now taken down by Ferguson. I think he might have used his hand as he was controlling that free kick to Arsenal, taken quickly. But yeah, it'll be I think Arteta might just want to write this game off because there's not too much to analyse really. Arsenal had a lot of the ball, couldn't quite get things going in the final third, and were met with a very good resistant West Ham team.
Yeah, has to be said. And Sterling dropping the shoulder. Great recovery from Aaron Cresswell. Is that going to be a corner? It is. 10 seconds to go of the 8 added on. Can they get something from this game? And we know the reputation of Arsenal.
They do like to score late on. They've got a habit of doing it, but it's got to be now or never because we're actually over the 8 minutes. I just wonder, we're going to see David Raya. David Raya is in the West Ham penalty area. So it's 11 Arsenal players in that box. Just wait and see. The delivery has to be good though.
David Raya, yep, he was already in there before you posed the question. He was racing up. It's going to be left-footed in swinger towards the 6-yard box. It's dropped down. Where's it going to drop? It's dropped to Cresswell. Kudus is going to clear it. David Raya's on full sprint. Craig Pawson has a look at his watch and doesn't blow. You've got to credit Raya for staying alive and winning it back. He's done exceptionally well. Craig Pawson still hasn't blown. He's put the ball down the line and needs to get the ball in the box. Odegaard's going to clip it to the back post. Gabriel trying to head it across. Surely that's a foul. If so, it's still going to go out of play. Aaron Wan-Bissaka holding his head. Wolves have won 1-0 away at Bournemouth. And Craig Pawson, I don't think he's blown for full time. He may have just given a free kick there. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he's taken a right clatter into the back of the head.
He has. I mean, as I say, this isn't the time to go on a rant about this, but I do always think that the way added time is calculated, it's still a little bit of a dark art because if you've lost 8 minutes of play throughout the match, then if you've lost a minute or two in injury time, you can't add a full minute or two for that because you've only added 8 minutes for what was lost in 45. So it is still a little bit of a mystery as to exactly when the referee can end the game. I mean, referees could play 10 minutes after the allotted time and still not have any trouble for it until obviously afterwards when the footballing will be asking what the hell were you doing. But it is down to the referee to end the game. It's a yellow card for Ward-Prowse as well, and a throw on to Arsenal now as we get close to the 100th minute in this game.
Thomas Partey, long throw. He's going to throw it right into the mixer. No one challenging. Mavropanos heads it up. And that is full time. It's a famous and well-deserved West Ham win. And that leads over to Arsenal, a dropping point in the title race. At full time, it's Arsenal 0, West Ham 1.